versus 3 in the top lane to basically finish the game with that T-Hex happening in the mid lane. So an incredible job here from Carlos in game number 1. Picking it up again is no surprise, and also priority picking it as well means that you can stop it from being banned away, also give yourself a bit of advantage and a bit of a comfort pick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've seen the bans here that the Ezreal comes through once more, so they don't want to give it over the timing to get the Ezreal, but I don't know if we'd see the Ziggs and the Ezreal come through at the same time, right? I mean, they kind of need something that's probably something a little bit more impressive in terms of your ADCs, but they ban out the Shyvana for themselves. I mean, it was Capybaras that played it, but they aren't going to get it onto the draft this time around, and rightfully so. I feel like if they didn't ban it, I feel like Jobcenter would have, because it was at points in that game I honestly thought, man, this Shyvana is going to be the thing that gets them through this game 2 for a 0.11, but ultimately they knew how to shut it down.
No, I mean, that's the big thing about it, is just making sure that you can shut down the Shyvana at the end. As long as you can shut her down, as long as you understand that you need to play aggressive, you need to take these early game fights. If you just sit back and do nothing and let the Shyvana scale, she will win the game. So I think, you know, as you mentioned, International Jobcenter last game, understanding how they're going to win that game, and, you know, did it to perfection.
Yes, banning out the Viego, I think, is probably a good call for the side of Almighty Capybaras, because it did actually pop off really well. Snorlax played the Viego very well on that Viego in game 2. So I feel like if it came through in game 3, maybe we would be seeing a 3-0 sweep here. But maybe, just maybe, we won't be seeing that with the Jace coming through in the mid lane.
Jace in mid lane, a lot of AD damage right now. Lilia has not been banned. So maybe they're leaving this Lilia pick till last here for International Jobcenter. I think overall Lilia actually hasn't really performed that well. It hasn't been that much in terms of potential with the Lilia. Sorry, like I think her win rate is pretty low. Tristana though, timing gonna go for Tristana in the mid lane. Ziggs is gonna go back into the bot lane. So we get another ADC in the mid lane against most likely going to be Jace in that mid lane.
Oh yeah, Jace in the mid lane. It looks like they're going to go for the
Darwin
into the jungle,
this comp
which
is so disgusting.
We've seen before. I'm pretty sure this was basically the same kind of thing as the last game, right? They had the Jarvan, they had the Camille, they had the Galio, and they had the Ziggs.
How does anyone move on International Jobcenter? I don't get it. How does anyone move? Camille ulti, Galio ulti, Jarvan ulti, Ziggs bomb on top of that. Like, there's just no way that you can move. I mean, Morgana is a very smart pick. Very, very smart pick here for International Jobcenter. I mean, really smart. The Morgana can actually be played there. I mean, it's probably going to be Morgana jungle, I assume, which is a bit more riskier to play. We see Morgana being played in the dual lane a lot. That's because you can just... actually, it's going to be Jack's jungle, Maokai. No, there's no way it's Jack's jungle, Maokai top. No, there you go. Morgana jungle, and then Jax will go into the top lane. But yeah, as I mentioned, I think Morgana in jungle in general is... the Morgana in jungle is a lot riskier to play because you don't really have you know, as much time to quickly farm up the jungle and make plays around the map. But we'll have to wait and see. Game's website to get a random skin chat. So look at that perfect timing again, Blam. It's like I do this every single day. We are ready for game number 3 here in the grand finals. Can International Jobcenter close this out as a clean sweep 3-0, or does Almighty Capybaras have what it takes to be more than almighty and be superior?
We'll have to wait and see, right? I mean, with Hans having that Camille pick up into the Baron lane, it's definitely going to be a bit of an upset for the side of Jobcenter, because we both know, and I'm pretty sure they were watching the games yesterday, that Han plays the Camille very, very well. So I feel like it's going to be something they have to definitely keep an eye out for, and I don't think Kirkall will have that same kind of leeway and privilege in the Baron lane that he's had in the previous games.
What's the pressure going to be like? That's the question. Well, how is the pressure going to be like on this game, and what's the early game going to look like? Because I feel like so far in these games, International Jobcenter have gotten such a big goal lead in these early games that they're able to use that goal lead to their advantage and to snowball the game. So we'll have to wait and see how this game is going to go in the early games. So Invades actually look like it's coming into the mid lane here. They're trying to invade onto this Morgana. We can have a look at the top side in the jungle here. The invade could be coming in really, really huge. The smite actually comes on through. I believe it was actually the Morgana that took it away. Yep. Morgana gets level 4, and it's an absolute disaster of an invade here at the moment. They do get 1 kill, though. They're trying to get some more. Snorlax is doing so much AoE damage, though, with the pulse. He gets 1. He potentially gets 2 if he can land the binding. He does. Snorlax gets 2 early kills. He wins the early smite fight, and the invade goes horribly wrong here for Mighty Capybara.
Yeah, I feel like it could have gone a lot better for them. They could have definitely had a bit of a tick sheet. They could have been, right, check. We got the red buff. We got a kill. We got another kill, and then we got another kill. But instead, it was just like we didn't get red buff. We got a kill, but then we died, and we lost another 2 people as well. So definitely goes wrong in the worst kind of way for them. And I suppose it's kind of punishing for them. These are the kind of risks you have to take in these scenarios, especially if you want to get them in. Oh, the flash! The chains of corruption with the piercing arrow gets the kill onto Ziggs, man. Crazy.
Josh might have taken a break from this game, but my God, does he still have the mechanics to pop off? And that was an insane combo there. The ulti into the flash, a classic Varus combo. Josh has still got it. He's still got the touch, and it's great to see.
Yeah, Papa's got a brand new bag. And it's Josh. Josh has got a brand new bag. And it's Varus.
Can I get a new bag for Christmas?
It depends if you're on the nice list. We'll have to find out. Let's settle at furniture first, and then we'll work our way up to the bag.
Okay. Furniture first. Okay. I have to make sure I have, you know, somewhere to store everything and somewhere to, you know, display stuff.
Exactly, like the new bag.
Oh, that's perfect. Worked out so well.
Oh, there's the Nova Signia. But yeah, no, it's still looking like it's going to be more of a tit for tat in this one. You can kind of you can see here that Capybara don't want to try and overcommit as much as they did in the previous 2 games because they are already behind. They have managed to kind of bring it back into a swing of things with the gold lead. They're only behind around about 600 gold now, rather than about a K and a bit. So I think that's the main goal for all my Capybaras in this early game, is just making sure that that gold lead doesn't sort of run away with the fairies. And speaking of that, it looks like Galio is going to go away with the fairies into Nine-Night Land, especially with Tristana. Tristana, his partner in crime.
Another 2 kills now for International Jobcenter, and it does look like this might be a 3-0 sweep by the looks of this early game. Every single early game has just been disastrous for Almighty Capybara. It's just such a big difference, it seems like, from yesterday to today. Like, yesterday it just seems like they had a lot more confidence. They were going in for a lot more plays. Today they're just always caught on the back foot.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is exactly what Jobcenter did yesterday against Mango, and then Mango turned it around at least in Game 3, so they could still potentially be that outcome for the Almighty Capybaras. I don't want to write them out just yet because they haven't lost a turret yet. Yes, they are behind by 4 kills, but it's all about what they do with these lanes and if they're able to maintain them, and potentially these neutral objectives coming up in as 5 seconds.
I have to see what happens when these objectives spawns. On my way pings at the moment towards the Galio. Looks like the engage is happening in the mid lane here. The flash forward from the Camille is going to secure 1 kill. So that's 1 kill in favor of Almighty Capybara. So maybe they can use this towards their advantage. They're going to decide to go towards the Rift Herald instead of going towards the Dragon. It is going to be the Gorilla turrets. They can try and use this in one of the lanes to try and secure first blood. Meanwhile, it looks like the Dragon is going to be taken on the other side here from Snorlax. So a big kill there in the mid lane to catch out, find God, and to get an advantage to secure that major objective.
Yes, I mean, it looks like they are going to potentially be able to take this Mountain Drake as well. They are cleaning it. So again, great jungle objectives for both of these teams for now, but let's see what they're going to do with them, right? So will we see some actual turrets be taken down now, or will we slowly start to see the beginning of a Dragon Soul for the side of Jobcenter? But it looks like that turret's going to come down and actually do a lot of damage onto this mid lane turret. They do have some proc of the Demolish as well. It does get taken down. So T1 into the mid lane does get taken down. Find God has to leap out of the Cataclysm, but then gets met by Tristana in the end.
Yeah, really nice there. And again, Fine God going down. This is 1 and 3 this game. Isn't having a very clean game here on the Jace, unfortunately. And it does mean that it's giving Almighty Capybaras a glimpse of hope in this game. Glimpse of hope after such a poor early game. They're finding out these opportunities. They're finding out these players, which, hey, their composition loves to do. Again, we mentioned it already. Their composition is all about isolating one champion with like Camille ultimate and everything else. And meanwhile, the build trying to look for engaging bot lane. The flash comes through from Galio, but White Capybara is doing really well here to try and come back in this game.
Yeah, they're not giving the hand over to Jobcenter to have their way with these lanes, especially Kirkall into the top lane. So he does get to build a Divine Sunder, so maybe this could cause some trouble for the side of Almighty Capybaras, because again, anti-health item, and there's definitely quite a few tanks on the side of Almighty Capybaras. But it looks like Camille's going to get a few more turret platings here to try and keep that gold lead staying in the favor of the Capybaras.
Exactly that. It's a bit difficult to see at the moment because the players on the left hand side are a bit all over the place. So there's a 1,000 gold lead at the moment in top lane for the Camille. However, the bot lane is 2,000 gold behind. Actually, the Ziggs is 2,000 gold behind the Varus. I've only just realized that Ziggs has basically 0 gold this game. The support has more gold than the Ziggs. Like, the Ziggs hasn't been able to rotate around the map and hasn't been able to get any gold at all, which is really, really difficult because his Varus is going to get really, really far ahead. He's
going to get far ahead, but you can kind of see that they're trying to funnel it into the Tristana as well, right? So you can see that the main problem with the Ziggs is just to use that bomb, but there we go. There's the Galio getting the taunt onto the Maokai. Here comes Shin as well. Not going to be able to escape with the advanced dash, unfortunately. Same of Dash as well. He's into the thick of it. There it is. There's that troublesome combo we was talking about in the BP phase, right?
Yeah, exactly that. The Jarvan ulti on top of the Galio as well. It just makes it so difficult for the mobile carry like Varus to try and escape. And that's 2 more kills over to Almighty Capybaras. So suddenly, after a very shaky early game, what looked like it was just going to be the International Jobcenter kind of running away with this game like they have done for the whole of this series after they get an early game lead. It looks like they have found these opportunities to try and get ahead, and that's all thanks to this draft. It's all thanks to how easy their draft is to execute and how they can just use the crowd control, use their lockdown to try and get multiple members across the map.
Yeah, I mean, it really helps for the side of Almighty Capybaras having like a champion like the Tristana, because again, using the satchel charge onto the turret and then just basically getting it to explode, and then it's also obviously AoE damage as well onto anybody surrounding that skill ability range. It's troublesome for the side of Jobcenter, and they're going to make sure that they don't let Almighty Capybaras kind of slip away further than they are right now, because they are definitely slowly but surely climbing that hill with the gold, with the kills, with the turrets. Definitely a reformed version of Capybaras compared to the last 2 games.
Exactly that, but how are they going to transition this? That is the real question. How do they transition this into a way that they can try and close out this game? You can see at the moment, Nabil is kind of hovering over the top side of the jungle. Jace is going into the top lane to push in this lane. The on my way pings are going into the top lane tier 2. You can see at the moment that they've just given up this dragon. They're not too bothered about this dragon. They know that it's not going to be the dragon soul, and instead they're trying to get an advantage on the rest of the map. They're actually going to be able to take away the blue buff, and Jarvan is on this side of the map as well. So they take away the blue buff and they don't even take dragon for it. So really well played there for International Jobcenter to kind of understand the situation, be like, hey, we can't really take team fights at the moment. Let's play the cross map and let's try and make a play on the opposite side of the map.
You can kind of see that Mokai is just trying to shut down I believe it's the Camille. Sorry, I couldn't see the person's portrait. I was just like, hang on, I'm trying to figure out who that is, and covering the complete face of Camille was there. You saw that Mokai was trying to go in, just trying to shut it down, trying to stop her get this advance into the T2. But here it is, Kirkall just doing what he does best, and it's just getting that split push potential for the Jacks, and I feel like that's probably the way into the heart of Almighty Capybaras in this game 3 is if Jobcenter does play this on a multi-objective level, rather than just kind of thinking, right, let's go into these team fights, let's see if we can win it. Oh, we didn't win it, and now we're getting punished for it.
Yeah. Exactly. That seems like at the moment that they're just losing momentum in this game, and they're not really able to find that many advantages. Like, they're trying to play the cross map. They weren't able to take that tier 2 tower. The only thing they took was the blue buff. That was it, really. But
yeah,
other than that, they've kind of lost momentum in this game. And the later this game goes, the scarier Tristana and Ziggs is able to scale. And you can see that the Camille is hovering over the Jax, and they don't even know he's in here. This could be absolutely disastrous for this Jax. So you can see the Jax is completely caught in this bottom side. He's going to be able to escape for now. The Black Shield's going to be able to escape him as well. And he survives somehow. But the Jarvan jumps in with the ultimate. Can they get the kill? Can they secure it? The flash comes in from the Camille. The Chain of Corruption, though, is pretty huge. A Ziggs bomb to secure the kill in the end. And you're seeing how difficult this composition is to play against. The Camille used the ultimate, and the Tristana, well, Tristana didn't even use the ultimate. Camille used the ultimate to get the original gauge onto Jax. That gets called off. Jarvan can then follow up afterwards. Ziggs can follow up with the AoE damage. There's so much lockdown, there's so much AoE damage that this composition is just so annoying and so toxic to play against.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're seeing it here. They're trying to deny the Baron Nashor as well. The Chain of Corruption
does
land onto the Camille, so that's huge for the side of Jobcenter. Double kill for Jash as well. He's just got to make sure he doesn't get run down by the Tristana, and they're able to take out Camille and the Galio. So there goes a big plentiful of synergy for the side of Almighty Capybaras.
They were trying to bait out the Baron there. They were trying to use the Baron as the bait and trying to force a team fight. But the whole of the team wasn't there. Ziggs and Tristana were sitting mid lane the entire time, and they couldn't do anything about it. Now the Baron looks like it might go in favor here of International Jobcenter. They do so much damage with the Liandres. The Jarvan's trying to go in. It's going to be caught by the Maokai ultimate. No, they're going to turn back towards the Baron. They know that Jarvan has no ultimate now. He might have the flag and drive to go back in, but look how much damage this Baron is doing. They need to decide what they need to do. Down to 1k. The Baron gets secured by International Jobcenter. The Chain of Corruption missed. The Ziggs bombs doing so much damage on the backline, but the Jax is flashing in to try and do so much damage. The Galio joins the fight with the ultimate, trying to save his team. The Jax is going to counter strike, stop the dash from Galio, and that's 2 more kills for International Jobcenter and the Baron. Just like that, Blam, the game is completely turned around.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what Jobcenter was waiting for, right? Just waiting for that peak moment that they could go in and take this victory from Almighty Capybaras. And here is a T-Hex as well. They've got around about a 10 second timer on this match right now, and they could potentially get all the way to the inhibitor. I mean, we see that Snorlax is pushing up into the top lane, but T-Hex actually not going to push this mid lane either.
No, it looks like they're trying to push the mid lane as fast as they can, but they have so much wave clear as well on the side of Almighty Capybaras, thanks to Ziggs bombs, thanks to the AoE damage from the Tristana, so it becomes very, very difficult. Look at this Jax. This Jax is just becoming a bully at this point. Just look how much damage he's doing to the Jarvan. He's even just going to dash back in. He's like, cool, I don't care about killing Jarvan. I just want the towers. The T-Hex is right by my side. He's going to get bursted down, though, by this combo, and the opposite side of the map, nothing else is really happening. So they are able to take 1 kills. They do lose 2 towers for it. But the big thing is they do not take any of these inhibitor towers just yet. It is a 4 versus 5. So they do need to be careful. You can see how passive and how safe Jash is playing. Jash knows that if he steps up too far, Camille can go in with the ultimate, and then he's just going to die instantly. So you can tell how cautious International Jobcenter are playing right now, because they know how strong the combo is.
Oh, absolutely. If they make one more mistake, then Almighty Capybaras are going to punish them for it, and that's the problem, right? They've finally got the gold lead back into their favor, but if they do lose a team fight, then I'm afraid for them that it'll just lose it completely. They're able to take the second or the third Drake, off the table, but it means that they're not able to complete the third one because it was Almighty Capybaras that was able to get that Infernal Drake soul. But so no souls this time around, so probably might actually even go to the Elder Dragon once more.
It does seem like it. We're getting to that stage of the game. I mean, every single one of these games has gotten so late time and time again. We've seen like 20 plus games already in the first 2 games of these series, and it's really coming down these late game team fights, and it's Jarvan using the ultimate on the backline, the Meteor to follow up, the Galio ultimate to engage as well. They're trying so hard to try and kill this Varus. Varus actually bought the Hextech Protobell to dash away, but Tristana is trying to get the resets. She dashes forward. She knocks the, oh my god, she knocked the Maokai away. But meanwhile, the Jax is pushing in the bot lane. But the problem now is that everyone is dead on the side of International Job Center. They can just go onto this Jax. Camille didn't even use the ultimate so they can lock down the Jax, and this might be the end of the game. They might try and push down mid and finish off this game. This Jax is eventually going to die. He's dead. The damage from the Varus is pretty huge though, so maybe they just turn towards Baron.
Yeah, I think Baron's probably the perfect call here for the side of Almighty Capybaras, rather than actually trying to fight this lane when we know you've got a Jace just be able to sat there with the piercing arrows and just completely wipe down those minion waves before you even get into the inhibitor territory. And just look how fast they're running down this Baron Nashor, which means that the T-Hex is going to surface onto the Rift once more.
This time it's gonna be on the opposite side. It's gonna be for Almighty Capybaras. 30 seconds until the Elder Drake. 3 games in a row now we've had this Elder Drake, and it's all come down to this Elder Drake. It really is a grand final that has lived up to all expectations. Both teams now forcing their way towards this Baron. The T-Hex is going to take a little bit of damage here, but not too much. You can see that they don't want to waste really any of the abilities on the minion raise. They just want to make sure that they can take down as much health as possible. But I think the Elder Drake is just gone at this point. No, actually, the Engage is not gone. The Engage instead is going through, and that is the Morgana dead. Look at the Engage from the Jarvan, the Cataclysm,
watch
into
it for
the
Jax,
Ziggs
though.
ulti, into the Galio ulti. There is nothing that the Morgana can do in this fight, and that means that the Elder Drake is now going to try and get secured. The Tristana is using her auto attacks into the backline. The T-Hex is trying to laser to do so much damage. The Jax is so low on 1 HP. The heal comes through. The damage from the Tristana. Is she going to get the reset? She does. She jumps on in. 2 more kills for Almighty Capybara. They need to be careful of their base though. Look at the bot lane. There's super minions pushing into the bot lane, but they have a wave in the mid lane. Almighty Capybara have done it. They're able to secure this win and take us to a game number 4.
Yes, I feel like from the beginning part of that game, it was pretty much inevitable for the side of Almighty Capybaras, right? I mean, from that BP, we saw that they were going to be pretty fierce with the Camille, with the Galio, with the Jarvan, with the Tristana, and as well with the Ziggs. So there we go. We are going to be going into a game 4, which probably at one point in this game, it should have just been a 3-0, but it seemed like a bit of a headless chickens going on the side of Jobcenter. Clearly the reason why they don't have a job.
No, I think in the end, they just really struggled to really counter the composition of Almighty Capybara. I mean, I will keep saying it over and over again, but this is one of the easiest and strongest compositions that any competitive team can play in Wild Rift, because all you have to do is just press the go button and use all your ultimates on one champion. Then you're in a 4 versus 5.